up-to-date Erasmus project co-funded by the European Union. Universal Design for Learning Guidelines. What are the U.D.L guidelines? The U.D.L guidelines are a tool used in the implementation of universal design for learning, a framework to improve and optimize teaching and learning for all people based on scientific insights into how humans learn. Here we have a picture, a screenshot of the Universal Design for Learning guidelines. As you can see, we have three colored columns. The green one is about providing multiple means of engagement, affective networks, the why of learning. So we have to provide option for recruiting interest, optimize individual choice and autonomy, optimize relevance, value, and authenticity, minimize threats and distractions. Then we have sustaining effort and persistence, heightened salience of goals and objectives, varied demands and resources to optimize challenge, foster collaboration and community, increase mastery-oriented feedback. The violet, the purple one, to provide multiple means of representation. Recognition networks, the what of learning. So perception, offer ways of customizing the display of information, offer alternatives for auditory information, offer alternatives for visual information. Language and symbols. To clarify vocabulary and symbols, clarify syntax and structure, supporting decoding of text, mathematical notation and symbols, promote understanding across language, and illustrate through multiple media. The blue one provide multiple means of action and expression. Strategic networks, the how of learning. So provide options for physical action, vary the method for response and navigation, optimize access to tools and assistive technologies, expression and communication, use multiple media for communication, use multiple tools for construction and composition, build fluencies with graduated level of support for practice and performance. The final one are provide options for self-regulation, the green one, to promote expectations and beliefs that optimize motivation, facilitate personal coping skills and strategies, develop self-assessment and reflection, to provide options for comprehension, activate or supply background knowledge, highlight patterns, critical features, big ideas, and relationships, guide information processing and visualization, maximize transfer and generalization. Executive to provide options for executive functions, guide appropriate goal setting, support planning and strategy development, facilitate managing information and resources, enhance capacity for monitoring progress. Let us go deeper into this topic. The Universal Design for Learning are guidelines that offer a set of concrete suggestions that can be applied to any discipline or domain to ensure that all learners can assess and participate in meaningful, challenging learning opportunities. It is a valid tool that all the teachers can use. As we have seen before, here we have the guidelines. Then we can go deeper into the topics by this link, because here we have some explaining videos about U.D.L at a glance, where you find out how the U.D.L framework guides the design of instructional goals, assessment methods, and materials that can be customized and adjusted to meet individual needs. Or the U.D.L to change the world. Why? CAST created the Universal Design for Learning framework, and it remains one of our core levers of change to help make learning inclusive and transformative for everyone. Universal Design for Learning. Here you can visit the U.D.L guidelines and you go deeper into the topic. For example, you can explore engagement, the green section, the purple section, representation, and the blue section, action and expression. For example, here we enter the green section, provide multiple means of engagement, and you can, for each guideline, you can explore each category. Optimize, for example, optimize individual choice and autonomy. You open it, and here you can read everything about that. How can a teacher optimize individual choice and autonomy, providing learners with as much discretion and autonomy as possible by providing choices in such things as the level of perceived challenge, the type of rewards or recognition available, the context or content used for practicing and assessing skills, the tool used for information gathering or production, the color, design, or graphics of layouts, the sequence of timing for completion of subcomponents of tasks, allow learners to participate in the design of classroom activities and academic tasks, involve learners where and whenever possible in setting their own personal academic and behavioral goals. Optimize relevance, value, and authenticity, for example. Vary activities and sources of information so that they can be personalized and contextualized to learners' lives, culturally relevant and responsive, socially relevant, age and ability appropriate for different racial, cultural, ethnic, and gender groups. Design activities so that learning outcomes are authentic, communicate to real audiences, and reflect a purpose that is clear to the participants. Provide tasks that allow for active participation, exploration, and experimentation. Invite personal response, evaluation, and self-reflection to content and activities. Include activities that foster the use of imagination to solve novel and relevant problems or make sense of complex ideas in creating ways. You can explore all of them. For example, we turn back and we can explore now the purple section, representation. So the important thing is that learners differ in the ways that they perceive and comprehend information that is presented to them. There is not one means of representation that will be optimal for all learners. You have to provide options for representation. That is essential. So, in the case of perception, you can offer ways of customizing the displays of information. In which way? Display information in a flexible format so that the following perceptual features can be varied. The size of the text, images, graphs, tables, or other visual content. The contrast between background and text or image. The color used for information or emphasis. The volume or rate of speech or sound, the speed or timing of video, animation, sound simulations, the layout of visual or other elements, the font used for print materials. Now, let's have a look to the third column guidelines. The blue ones, strategic networks, the how of learning, action and expression. So, learners differ in the ways that they can navigate a learning environment and express what they know. There is not one means of action, an expression that will be optimal for all learning. So, physical action, for example, vary the methods for response and navigation, optimize access to tools and assistive technologies, use multiple media for communication, use multiple tools for construction and composition, etc. Okay, let's try to investigate this one. 5.1. Use multiple media for communication. Compose in multiple media such as text, speech, drawing, illustration, comics, storyboards, design, film, music, dance, movement, visual art, sculpture, or video. Use physical manipulatives, for example, blocks, 3D models, base 10 blocks. Use social media and interactive web tools, for example, discussion forums, chats, web design, annotation tool, storyboards, comic strips, animation presentations, and solve problem using a variety of strategies. Let's have some more information about U.D.L guidelines website on how to navigate it. Here For example, you have more, if you want to know more about it, you have the possibility to go to the FAQ, open it, and here you have the table of contents. What's the goal of U.D.L, why were the U.D.L guidelines developed, how are the guidelines related to the U.D.L framework, who are the guidelines for, how are the guidelines organized, and so on. Okay, who are the guidelines for? They are not only for professional educators and teachers, but even for parents and anyone else who wants to apply the U.D.L framework to practice in a learning environment. Then you have the possibility to download. Okay, here you have the version 2.2 of 2018, and about the graphic organizer describes these structural changes in more details, while our FAQ may help answer questions you have about the U.D.L guidelines and their relationship to the U.D.L framework. Okay, you even have in the version 2.2 translations into many languages. So Arabic, Catalan, simplified Chinese, French, German, Spanish, Irish language, Italian, of course, Japanese, Portuguese, Swedish, Turkish, and even unified English Braille. That is very important. So here you have the version translations into Japanese and Spanish, and the other version.